Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today what I'm going to do is create a URL pinger here. So the first one that I've created for you already is called ping URL 1. This is the short version. So what I've done is I've created a scalar variable called check URL. And I think we also need to import this use IO socket inet in first. Okay, so what we do is we assign it to head and then we type in a URL here, which is I'm going to check YouTube. Then we come down onto the conditional if statement. So we're going to say if check URL and then we're going to print site is online and a new line if that site is online. Or else, if it's not, this is the conditional, this is the catch-all, print the site is offline. So we're just going to do that first. We're going to call the program, which is ping URL 1. So this is the first example, the really simple URL pinger example in Perl. Okay, let's just run it. Let's have a look. Okay, so there we go. Site is online, so I would be pretty surprised if it was offline. Okay, the next one we're going to do is we're going to ping multiple URLs using this Perl script. So I've created a subroutine called ping URLs. We use the print command here to say pinging URLs from file, because we've got a file here on the desktop with a load of URLs in it, and these are the URLs that I'm going to ping. Okay, and we print out this message to the user with a new line, and then we use the sleep function to pause it for 1 second. And then what we have to do is we have to open this text file. So we open it and we use a file handler here to read it. So the text file is located at C users mark desktop. That's where I've located it. And the name of that text file is urls.txt. And here we do an error handler or die. So if something goes wrong in the program, this should throw a kind of like generic error message here. And then what we do is we load the website URLs into the an array here as we read through them. And then we close the file once we've finished working with the file. And then we chomp the websites, and then what we've got to do is we've got to go iterate through each website. So we do that using for each loop and my scalar site here and the website. So we're going to check each one, and then we create another scalar variable called check, and we assign it to the head site. And then we come on to conditional. So if check, so if it's online, so we print online. And what we do is we interpolate into this string here the URL. Or else, if that's not the case, if it's not online, then we print a message to the user that says offline, and we interpolate the site name, the URL, into the string here. And then what we do is we go to sleep here, and I'm going to pause this program for 5 seconds because it's going to do something else. We've created another subroutine here called check again, and we're going to call it from inside this subroutine here. So it's going to pause for 5 seconds, and then it's going to take us through to this subroutine called check again. So we print out a message to the user, this time telling the user what we want them to do. So we want them to check again, so they've got an option of Y or no. And then we chomp and create a scalar variable here called check and assign it to standard input. That will take the input that the user has inputted. So the user will either input Y or N, yes or no. So if the check is equal to Y, so if the user has inputted Y, then we're going to ping the URL. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump back up to this subroutine here called ping URLs. We can do that by just naming it. So we'll go through that list again. Or else we can print by and exit the program. So let's run it. So I think it's got ping URLs. Here we go. Let's just save it. Let's just run the program. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. So we're pinging the URLs. There we go. So let's have a look. So of course Google is online. We've got a few offline things here. And we've waited for 5 seconds, and then we've got the message to check again, yes or no. So example.com is online. Yeah, these are all online. So if I just type N like that, we're just going to exit the program like that. So now we're going to have to run this program again. Let's have a look at it. Okay, so there we go. Waiting for 5 seconds. And there you go, check again. So this time I want to check again, so I'm just going to type in yes. Hit enter. Okay, pinging URLs from the file, so it's pinging them again. And you can go on doing this for as long as you want, or else you can exit the program by typing no, N for no. There you go. So that's just about it for this. I hope you've enjoyed the programs and the video. And remember, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, why don't you consider hitting the subscription button below? While you're at it, give it a big thumbs up and drop me a comment. And I'll see you in another video. Bye-bye.